This is the video key for the data analysis part of exam 1, and I'm just going to do exactly what you guys would do. So I'll go to the data analysis portion here, and I'm going to go ahead and download the file that I'm going to paste things into, put my answers into. And then I'll go ahead and download the 2 data sets and import those into StatCrunch. So now that I've downloaded the Word file, I'm going to go in and open up StatCrunch. And I have to go in a slightly different way than you do because I don't have StatCrunch with this course, believe it or not. So I have to go into another course where I have it. All right. Let's look at the Shark data set first, since that's first on the exam. So I'm going to go ahead and download the data set. And hopefully after a while these things, because it's always the same, commands, become rather routine and straightforward. Okay, and there's my data set. And so on the exam, it asks me to look at the variable incident type. Okay, and I'm going to have to look at it and clean it up and make sure that everything's okay. Here it doesn't actually ask you to do this, but you always should, so I'm going to. So this is incident type. If I wanted to, I could get rid of the rest of the data. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and sort. And I think I remember saying before that you didn't have to worry about the thing that said invalid. It really wasn't invalid, okay? So this occurred while the person was voting. Again, don't worry about invalid. That's an unfortunate choice of terms. This is an actual data set. I didn't make this up. So apparently here these people provoked a shark. Who would do that in their right mind? It's beyond me, but they did. This was like at a sea disaster. This was unprovoked. The person was just in the water not doing anything. And you can see the vast majority are unprovoked. And at the very bottom of the data set. So there's nothing here that looks particularly suspect, okay? Appropriate type. So I have a choice here between really a pie plot and some sort of bar plot. Notice that I have a lot of categories, and some of them are going to have small percentages. So you can see that there aren't that many voting, and there's actually a lot of records, okay? So there's close to 1,000 incidents reported, and less than about 10 are voting. So this means this is going to be 0.1% on a pie plot. So you certainly would not make a pie plot. So I'm going to make a bar plot using my data, incident type. I have a really large data set. So we said when we have large data sets, we plot percentages. I'm going to put them value above bars so I can see them. And I'm going to plot this. This is not going to be my final plot. And I can see this is a really good situation where I would want to make a Pareto plot. I'd want to organize things in decreasing frequency. So I'm going to say counts descending. And now I need to make some labels. So the X label would be incident type, or you could say type of incident. Something along those lines. The Y label is going to be a percentage. You could say relative frequency. They're kind of the same. Usually relative frequency means the decimals, okay? And so we're going to say distribution of shark attacks in Florida by incident type. All right. If I really wanted to be more specific, I won't do it in this plot. I could put the year. I could even put the source. Okay, it might not be a bad idea, but mostly I want to give the person an idea of what they're looking at. Okay, and so I can see this is a really nice plot. And again, to cut and paste, I just right-click and say copy, and then I go over to my Word document and I paste it. And I would probably resize this a little bit. It's a little on the smaller side. Oh, I have to also increase the text box. And just move things around a little bit. And that looks, oops. That looks pretty good. There's a little wider of a border than I'd like, but that's okay. Okay, so now I want to describe the plot. So there's a couple of things I need. I need the mode and the frequency or percentage, okay? And then I want to try to describe the rest of the plot. And again, I said I'm not going to be super strict on this, but I would start off saying something along the lines of the most common type of incident was unprovoked at 83%. And then I would say that then the incidents resulting from provocation or that were invalid were roughly about 5%, and the remaining two incidents, which were boating and sea disaster, were about 1%. Okay. Something like that. And again, I'll accept anything reasonable. The only thing I won't accept is I won't accept decimals, okay? So if you even make this 10 and this 5, that would be fine too. I have no problem with that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and type that in. And again, what is the purpose of the description? I want to give a person just a rough idea of what the plot looks like, okay? Usually we say what it is that we're plotting. At about 80%. And about 10%. Okay. And either way, I would accept 10% and 10%, something like that, okay? Just indicating that they're kind of about the same, but they're not really minor and they're not major, okay? And finally, and actually I was wrong there. This is invalid. Well, that's right. Finally, boating and sea disaster attacks occurred about 1% of the time. And essentially, I'm telling the reader that they're essentially minor. Okay, they're really negligible. So something along those lines, I would accept. Okay, that's it for the categorical, and in the next video I will do the quantitative data analysis. Thanks for watching.